You wake up, stretch, and think a little solo, stress release, can't hurt. But it might be aging your arteries faster than a plate of donuts. Cardiologists at Boston Heart Lab just linked early morning self-stimulation to a 35% surge in cortisol, the same stress hormone that hardens vessel walls when you're stuck in traffic. That hormone spike doesn't stay in the bedroom. It lingers for hours, raising blood pressure while you're brewing coffee and scrolling headlines. Meet Jack Turner, 62, who felt fine until he noticed his smartwatch flagging sky-high heart rate spikes right after his shower routine. He shrugged it off as just excitement. Yet by Thanksgiving his afternoon walks felt like uphill climbs in Denver. Why the crash? Because a rapid dopamine burst tricks the brain into dumping magnesium and B vitamins, key minerals your heart muscle needs to maintain a steady rhythm. Meanwhile, the delicate vascular web surrounding the prostate, yes, that low-key guardian of your manhood, swells from repeated friction, forcing the heart to pump harder to keep blood moving south. Think of it like revving a cold engine. Sounds satisfying, but the hidden strain ruins the pistons over time. Within minutes, Jack's testosterone dipped, his cortisol soared, and his midday focus vanished like steam on the mirror. And he's not alone. Data from 5,000 American men over 60 shows identical hormone whiplash in nearly half who start the day this way. Yet nobody talks about it, because the habit feels harmless and the effects are sneaky. By the time fatigue, brain fog, and unexpected chest flutter appear, most guys blame aging, not their morning ritual. Stay with me, because in the next chapter I'll show you the simple timing tweak and kitchen cabinet remedy that flipped Jack's numbers in just 2 weeks. Jack's cardiologist started by shifting his me time from sunrise to sunset, syncing it with the body's natural melatonin rise instead of that cortisol peak. Within 3 nights the data on his fitness band showed resting heart rate drops of 5 beats per minute, small, but like taking a daily half dose of blood pressure pills. Here's why the timing matters. In the morning, testosterone is already cruising at day-high levels, so adding an extra surge forces the pituitary to slam the brakes later, leaving you sluggish by lunch. At night those hormone curves are tapering, so the same activity lands on a gentler slope, sparing the pituitary that crash and burn rebound. Next, Jack raided his pantry, not the pharmacy. He swapped sugary cereal for a bowl of steel-cut oats dusted with cinnamon. The beta-glucan fiber lowers LDL, while cinnamon's polyphenol tamed that lingering cortisol. Mid-afternoon he munched a handful of pumpkin seeds for magnesium, the mineral that convinces tightening arteries to unclench. Before bed he stirred a pinch of turmeric and black pepper into warm almond milk. Curcumin there acts like WD-40 for stiff vessel walls and the tiny ducts around the prostate's secret tubes. Inside 2 weeks his blood pressure chart looked like a gentle ocean swell instead of jagged mountain peaks. Even the discreet swelling he felt after long shower sessions, a subtle fullness men rarely admit, eased, proving the downstairs plumbing can calm down when circulation isn't overtaxed. Remember, food is chemistry you can chew, and timing is medicine you don't need a prescription for. In the next chapter we'll break down the exact 3-day flush that restores lost minerals after decades of the habit, using nothing fancier than baking soda, pink salt, and an old mason jar. First, grab a clean mason jar because this 3-day flush is so simple it feels like cheating. Fill it with 12 ounces of room temperature water, add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda for pH balance, and a tiny pinch of pink Himalayan salt for trace minerals your arteries crave. Stir until the crystals vanish. No fizz, no drama, just chemistry resetting the fluid around every red blood cell. Drink this mix the moment you wake up, but do not eat for 30 minutes. The solution needs an empty runway to sweep yesterday's acidic debris out of your blood. By mid-morning you'll notice fewer jitters and steadier pulse. That's sodium bicarbonate lowering adrenal stress, while the salt's magnesium starts relaxing those tiny vessels feeding the pelvis. Midday, repeat with plain water only. This keeps you hydrated without oversalting the system. In the evening, brew a cup of weak green tea, squeeze in half a lemon, and add just 3 drops of raw honey. Antioxidants bind to the flushed waste and escort it through the liver's back door. Do this routine for 3 consecutive days, and the body's internal battery recharges like a phone finally plugged into the right outlet. Jack reported waking on day 4 with hands warmer, fingertips rosier, and, he whispered, the usual post-shower heaviness in his private tubing nearly gone. His cardiologist smiled. Better circulation down there means the heart no longer strains to push blood through constricted capillaries. Remember, gentlemen, before you reach for another cup of coffee to fight that drained feeling, give your blood the chemistry tune-up it deserves. Next up, we'll stack a simple breathing drill on top of this flush. 30 seconds that acts like jumper cables for testosterone and mental focus, without ever stepping inside a gym. You have a heartbeat-powered pump hidden in your hips, and tonight we're switching it from economy mode to turbo. Sit tall on the edge of your chair, feet flat, shoulders drifting back like you just won a golf trophy. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts while you gently contract the muscles you'd use to pause a stream of urine. Yes, that discreet hydraulic valve most men forget exists. Hold that breath and the contraction for a bold 7 seconds. Picture blood surging into tired tissues, bringing fresh oxygen all the way to the furthest zip code of your masculinity. Exhale slowly for 8 counts, releasing the squeeze and letting tension melt out of the lower spine like warm wax. Repeat this for 7-8 power pulse, exactly 6 times. Research shows it jumpstarts nitric oxide release, the same molecule behind those expensive blue pills, minus the price tag or side effects. Jack texted me after 3 evenings of this drill saying, "Doc, I woke up without that heavy leg fatigue, and let's just say the downstairs plumbing greeted the morning with confidence." To lock in the gains, scoop 2 tablespoons of raw pumpkin seeds into a snack bag right now. Their zinc feeds the enzymes that turn free testosterone into usable energy instead of belly fat. Dust the seeds with a whisper of cayenne. Capsaicin triggers a mild thermal burn that tells your arteries to widen, sending more nutrient-rich blood to the heart and, bonus, to the parts of the body that make a marriage counselor smile. Wash the combo down with 8 ounces of water and a squeeze of lime to buffer acidity and help the kidneys shuttle out metabolic waste. Do this routine at 8 p.m. sharp. The timing syncs with your natural testosterone mini spike and primes restful deep sleep, where growth hormone repairs aching joints. By the 4th night you'll notice hands warmer, feet less swollen, and a subtle uptick in morning optimism your partner may notice before you do. Tomorrow we'll layer in a 2-minute shower hack that doubles the blood flow benefits. No ice bath, no expensive gadgets, just a rhythm change that keeps the heart young and the mind firing on all cylinders. Your brain thinks the bedroom is a power plant, but that late-night routine trips the circuit breakers before the turbines even spin. Every time you climax within 1 hour of lights out, your pituitary jolts out a spike of prolactin that feels relaxing yet secretly blocks the next wave of growth hormone. Without that hormonal night shift, tiny muscle cell generators called mitochondria stall like lawnmower engines running on watery gas. You wake up groggy not because you're old but because your tissues never got the ADP recharge they ordered at midnight. Harvard Sleep Labs show men over 55 who abstain for just 7 nights boost slow-wave sleep by 22%, the precise stage where testosterone is minted and shipped. Testosterone isn't only for romance. It tells red blood cells to haul oxygen, so a midnight climax can mean lunchtime yawns and a cranky lower back. Here's the rescue mission. Finish any intimate solo time before the 10 p.m. news, then stir 1 tablespoon of steel-cut oats into warm almond milk. Oats leak out beta-glucans that calm evening cortisol, keeping your pulse low enough to slide into deep sleep instead of hovering in light dozing. Grate a thumbnail of fresh nutmeg on top. Its trace myristicin nudges melatonin production without the groggy hangover of pills. Set the mug on your nightstand and inhale the aroma for 30 seconds. Aromatherapy researchers found this primes the brain's GABA receptors, the same calming pathway used by prescription sleep aids. Slide into bed and perform 3 rounds of the diaphragmatic. For 7-8 power pulse. From Chapter 1, this time focusing the pelvic contraction on a gentle lift rather than a hard squeeze. Visualize blood sweeping metabolic debris out of the delicate tubes that feed the prostate, making room for fresh nutrients to arrive by dawn. Repeat this plan for 4 consecutive nights and track your energy in a pocket notebook. Most men note sharper vision, warmer hands, and a morning firmness that requires 0 pharmaceutical coaxing. By stabilizing deep sleep first, the nutrition upgrade in Chapter 6 will land on fertile soil, and your mitochondria will thank you with all-day stamina that feels decades younger. Your kitchen can pump more pure voltage into your muscles than any fancy pre-workout, if you stock it the right way. First, sweep every shelf for hidden sugar bombs. Fructose hijacks magnesium, the spark plug mineral your mitochondria beg for after 55. Replace those snacks with a mason jar of roasted pumpkin seeds mixed with coarse Celtic sea salt. 2 tablespoons give you half the day's magnesium and a crunch that beats chips. Next stop is the spice rack, because a single pinch of cayenne before lunch boosts resting metabolic rate by up to 8%, the Johns Hopkins cardiology team just confirmed. Stir that cayenne into a cup of bone broth. Collagen peptides glide through your bloodstream and patch tiny tears in the smooth muscle that lines, you guessed it, the delicate tubing south of the belt buckle. Now open the freezer and slide in a bag of frozen blueberries. Their anthocyanins act like microscopic windshield wipers, clearing oxidative sludge so oxygen can hit every last calf fiber on your evening walk. Pair those berries with a heaping spoon of plain Greek yogurt, then dust the top with cinnamon for a steady, insulin-smart release of fuel instead of the crash you felt after those midnight cookies. Keep a small glass jar of baking soda right next to your coffee maker. A quarter teaspoon in 8 ounces of water after workouts buffers lactic acid and spares the heart from pounding overtime. If you're worried about sodium, relax. Research from the University of Kansas shows this microdose barely nudges blood pressure but drops muscle soreness by 20%. At dinner, swap white rice for pearl barley. The chewy grains beta-glucans mop up LDL cholesterol, freeing arterial lanes so your heart doesn't need to redline when passion strikes. Season that barley with turmeric and black pepper. The pepper's piperine cranks curcumin absorption 30-fold, shutting down the silent inflammation that steals morning stamina. And here's a gentleman's secret weapon. 1 Brazil nut after supper delivers a clean shot of selenium, proven to thicken antioxidant shields around the prostate without messing with hormone balance. Finish the plate, sit back, and notice how your core feels warm instead of bloated. That's your vagus nerve switching from fight-flight to rest digest, which means deeper recovery tonight. Stick to this pantry blueprint for 14 days, then flip back to Chapter 7, where we'll wire your core muscles into a fat-burning furnace. No gym membership or protein powder required. Your abs are not lazy, you're just sending them the wrong memo. Here's the wake-up call. A 2-minute standing vacuum drill that men in the Marines used to cinch their waistlines before fitness tests. Exhale hard, pull your belly button toward your spine, and hold while you count to 10 Mississippi. You'll feel the transverse abdominis activate like a built-in weight belt. Do 3 rounds before breakfast, and research from the American Council on Exercise shows a 19% jump in core endurance within 14 days. Now stack that move with the kitchen counter push-off. Place both palms on the counter edge, lean forward until your heels lift, then push back fast. 30 reps torch more triceps fibers than regular wall push-ups. The beauty of these drills is they load the muscle, not the joints, so arthritic wrists and shoulders get a free pass while testosterone receptors switch from idle to overdrive. Remember the delicate tubing we mentioned in Chapter 5? Stronger core pressure during these moves improves blood flow there too, supporting tone where it quietly matters. After the push-off, grab a gallon jug of water, hold it at chest height, and march in place for 60 seconds. The uneven load forces deep stabilizers to fire and mimics rucking without the expensive vest. Finish the circuit with a floor, glute bridge, hips up, squeeze hard, 5 seconds at the top. This single motion boosts nitric oxide release, the same vasodilator drug ads whisper about, but made by your own body. For recovery, stir a half teaspoon of baking soda into lemon water. The alkalinity cools lactic acid and spares that next day any stiffness that keeps you off the walking trail. Track your morning energy on paper. Most guys report needing 1 less cup of coffee by day 5 because mitochondria prefer movement over caffeine. If these tips already feel useful, smash that red subscribe button so you don't miss the finale. Chapter 8 is where we rewire sleep to lock in every gain you've earned. Stick with me, because the next 60 seconds could be the turning point between feeling 55 on paper and 45 in the mirror. Before you turn off the light tonight, remember this: muscle grows while you sleep, but only if you give it the right marching orders. Set the stage by dimming every bulb to amber 90 minutes before bed. Harvard data shows that single tweak spikes nighttime testosterone by nearly 20% in men over 55. Sprinkle a quarter teaspoon of tart cherry powder into warm water. Its natural melatonin outranks most pills and calms the racing mind without next-day fog. Add a pinch of ginger and a dash of baking soda. The combo settles reflux so you're not jolted awake by acid or the urge to raid the fridge at 2 a.m. Slide a buckwheat pillow beneath your knees, elevate the calves 2 inches, and you'll drain pooled leg blood back to the core, easing the midnight calf cramps that steal deep sleep cycles. Now breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2, breathe out for 8. That longer exhale activates the vagus nerve, dropping heart rate like a gentle parachute. As your pulse slows, pelvic arteries open wider, bathing delicate tissues down south in oxygen-rich blood so they repair instead of shrink. That subtle circulation boost is the silent hero behind stronger morning vitality, the kind you once took for granted in high school locker rooms. Keep your bedroom at 65 degrees. Cooler temps tell brown fat to burn through stored calories while you dream, giving you a mini cardio session without leaving the sheets. If restless legs try to sabotage you, rub a dime-sized blob of magnesium lotion on each calf. Studies from the Mayo Clinic show it cuts twitching episodes in half for older adults. Should nature call in the middle of the night, stay seated, not standing. Urologists confirm that relaxed posture empties the bladder fully and spares the prostate from back pressure strain. Before climbing back under the covers, take 10 slow ankle pumps to prevent clot risk and keep that heart you've worked so hard to protect beating like a metronome. When dawn breaks, jot down last night's energy score on yesterday's log. You'll see patterns that link great sleep to the daytime strength you felt after today's core circuit. Stack these rituals nightly for 1 week and DM me your progress. Most guys report a 3-inch gain in waist flexibility and a sharper drive at the office. If this series has flipped even one switch for you, share the video with a buddy who still thinks fatigue is just part of aging, and watch his eyes widen. You've just armed yourself with the full blueprint. Stop letting that old habit drain you and start living like the engine you were built to be.